Hello, everyone. It's Ben here from SmartUI Group. Today, we're going to be taking you through the invoice entry automation solution we built for Premier construction software. Basically, it's a cloud-based application that we built that integrates directly with Premier, takes invoices from an email, extracts all the data, validates all the information within Premier, and then automatically pushes them into a prospective approval workflow or to be posted. So the way the solution works, we take documents in any type of format, whether it's JPEG, TIFF, PDF, Word, Excel, really doesn't matter. When they come into the solution automatically classifies the document. So it will understand the information on the page and then basically allocate if the document is an invoice, if it's a credit note, or a statement, or it's a good receipt. If it's an invoice, then it then applies the business rules that are related to an invoice. So in the Australian market, it's still be extracting the Australian business number or tax number, looking into Premier and making sure that the vendor or subcontractor is valid. It will do things like extracting job number, purchase order number, and then looking to Premier to make sure that the purchase order or job number is valid. We also do things like bring back the purchase order information and value and match the line items automatically to the invoices. The solution also is able to identify if it's a tax invoice or if it's a credit note. So a credit note could be returning of goods, and therefore we insert it into Premier as a minus value. And we also do statement matching. Now, in the Australian market, I'm not sure if over in Canada and the US that you have statements, but basically if a statement comes in from a particular subcontractor or vendor, it will have all of the invoices you've received for the month. We can actually extract the invoices that you've received for the month off the page and then validate that they have been received in Premier. The solution automatically separates documents as well. So if you receive one PDF file and it's got 10 invoices in it, or an invoice and a credit note or the rest of it, it'll automatically separate the document. It will automatically learn via machine learning and artificial intelligence the formats and layouts of each particular document. So the first time an invoice comes into the system, it basically extracts all the information off the page, shows it to an end user, and then they will then validate that it's correct, and the solution automatically learns it moving forward. Okay, so this is a bit of an overview. This is a bit technical, I know, but on the left, you'll see what we call our systems of engagement. So you'll be receiving invoices that you'll scan into the system, or you'll be receiving invoices from email, web upload, or people will be taking photos of invoices from their phone. Our solution automatically integrates with Microsoft Office 365 or Gmail, and it will automatically bring the invoices into the system with no one having to touch it at any time. So for example, one of your suppliers, whether it's Home Depot or one of these other ones over there, will email you an invoice. It will then automatically be ingested into our cloud platform, all the data extracted, and then be available for one of these verification operators to then look at the particular invoices. Just want to talk about the verification operators or your accounts payable team at the moment. So right now they would be opening up an invoice and manually keying all the data into Premier, validating it's correct, and doing all that work manually. What our solution actually does is it extracts all the information off invoices and then basically does all the validation for you. So it looks up to make sure the vendor is correct. It makes sure the bank details are correct. It makes sure the purchase order number exists and does the matching automatically. Or the job number exists and does or subcontractor exists and does all the matching automatically. These users down here go from doing 100% manual process to only dealing with exceptions. So you're removing 80% of the manual effort out of invoice processing. So an exception might be a vendor or subcontractor doesn't exist in Premier. A purchase order is incorrect. The tax information or the line items are not calculating correctly. So you're removing a huge amount of manual effort out of the process. Okay. This is just an example of how it works. So the extraction of data from the page is completely customizable to your business rules. We've actually started building this for the Canadian taxation and invoice layouts and formats. And basically, we extract the invoice number, date, job number, tax number, purchase order number, project manager if applicable, and all of the line item details. But not only that, we are doing actually mathematical calculations to make sure that the line items actually equal the subtotal or the total of the invoice. So therefore, any keying errors are removed from the process. In relation to statements as well, this is just an example. This invoice here for hardware in general will be on one of these lines on the statement at the end of the month. And we're actually checking in Premier that these invoices have been received. Therefore removing that process as well. In relation to business rules, these are totally configurable to, I guess, your end process. So doing automatic matching of purchase orders, invoice, goods receipts, job numbers, vendors is out of the box. We do that automatically. So as soon as somebody has a look at an invoice, the vendor has been validated, the purchase order has been validated, all the data has been extracted, and it's ready for someone to check before it goes into Premier if it has any issues. Once it's in Premier, it then follows the approval workflows based on the job number or purchase order or GL workflows that have been set up in Premier. So it's a real easy way to onboard and push invoices in there with minimal manual effort. As I said before, mathematical calculations are working out the line items, and we can do things like check for duplicates as well. Okay. The solution is web-based, so we'll show you that in a second. So you basically log into the solution, you'll see a list of your invoices, you'll see the invoice on the left, and you'll see all of the data extracted on the right. It's out of the box, it can be available on any device. It also comes with a client as well. The rich client is used for our customers that are processing thousands and thousands and thousands of invoices per month. People like to use the rich client because there is no lag of opening a web page. It's totally up to you how it can be used via the web or by the rich client if you want to save that with a bit of extra time. Cool. So that's a bit of a high level of the solution. Now I'll do a quick demonstration. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so we are now at the login screen to the system. As discussed before, emails that get emailed to your business will automatically be taken from the email mailbox and they'll be put into our system. So I'm just going to log here as a demo user. Once I log in, it's going to ask me, am I a verification operator or a senior verification operator? And then we're going to see a list of queues. So what I can see here is that in the verification stage, there are 4 invoices or credit notes waiting to be processed, and there's also a statement. Now these queues can be set up however you require. So for example, we have companies that have multiple business entities. It might have business entity number 1, number 2, number 3. They might have job-based invoices in one queue, PO-based invoices in another queue, subcontract invoices in another queue. This is really up to how you would like the solution configured, okay? So it's not just one size fits all. We understand what your business rules are, and then we make this, implement the solution to fit your business rules, okay? So I'm just going to open this up. So as we can see here, we've received 4 invoices from 4 different customers. Over here, we've got Bunnings Group, which in Australia would be the equivalent of, I guess, Home Depot in North America. So when I open up this one, what we can actually see here is that these invoices, there is one PDF file, and generally they have hundreds of invoices attached, okay? So what we can see now here is that the solution has automatically extracted the ABN number off the page. We can see it's highlighted there. It's actually done a validation and looked up into Premier and made sure that this vendor actually exists. The solution automatically extracts the invoice number, date, subtotal, GST, and total. If I quickly just make a bit more room here, if I then scroll down, you can actually see from a line item perspective as well that we have actually extracted all of the details from all of the lines. and it will actually show. When I click on it, it will show in year where it's actually extracted. Some customers like to have every line inserted into Premiere. Others don't. They require one line. That's entirely up to you how you wanted that solution configured. But what we can see here is that we've actually got the option to choose the job numbers that are coming from Premiere, the cost types, cost items, or GLs. You can do multiple job numbers per invoice, one job number per invoice. However you wanted to process that, that would be absolutely fine. We also have the option to reject the invoice back to the vendor. Now, the reason why we do this is a lot of vendors send invoices with the wrong information, the wrong purchase order numbers, etc. So you can reject that back and ask them to automatically associate the correct purchase order number or make an amendment to the invoice and resubmit that invoice. So you're doing a communication back and forth from your vendors, okay? Down here, it gives us a bunch of warnings that says, okay, what is actually wrong with this invoice? Right here, it's telling us that it's missing a job number or GL or PO number. These are just abbreviations of an actual purchase order number, but these purchase orders are coming from Premier, and they are all the purchase orders that are available for this particular vendor, Bunnings Group, and a user can simply select the option, associate a PO number. It will do its matching, and once it's matched, it can actually press this green button, and then it's gone into Premiere and associates it to and creates the invoice in Premiere and sends it for approval for that particular user. Okay, so really powerful tool. And like I said, a user has done no data entry whatsoever. They are just doing the required tasks, which could be doing a GL, a job number allocation, cost type, cost item, etc. Okay, excellent. I'm just going to reject this one, go back to our queue. I'll give you an example of another one. Here's Hanson Construction Materials that has sent an invoice. Okay, this one, it's extracted the tax number off the page. It's validated the information again, the invoice number, invoice date. It's actually telling us that it's found this invoice in Premiere and it's a duplicate. But what we've actually done with this one is it's extracted the PO number. It's done a lookup into Premiere and found it. Okay, this PO is worth $1,388. What we can do is have a business rule that says, okay, if the PO automatically matches what's on the invoice, push it through into Premiere and nobody has to touch anything. So you're getting 100% process automation. The business rules based around this is obviously that the totals match, it's not a duplicate, and we can push that through to Premiere. Okay, so that's, I guess, the holy grail of these solutions. If you can get invoices coming in that nobody has to touch anything and push them into Premiere, then basically you've got a full automation from some of your particular vendors. Now, I know the question that some of you are probably asking now, what happens if you need to match particular lines to the particular invoice, to the particular purchase order from the invoice? Okay, so what we've actually built into the solution and we've just rolled out, here is an example of a tax invoice that's come in for this particular purchase order. Okay, the purchase order is worth $55,991, and we need to understand which line on the purchase order that we need to match it to. What a particular user can do is press this button here. It will pull back all the purchase order lines from Premiere. The user can then select which line it's allocated to, press the OK button, hit close task, and it will automatically upload this invoice into Premiere and basically allocate the particular invoice to a particular line in Premiere as well. So it's doing all that from that end. So it's basically removing 80%, if not more, of manual effort out of your invoice processing. Okay, now I'm going to show an example of a particular statement that's come in for a vendor at the end of the month. So this is a company called Classic Hire. It's sent this particular customer 13 invoices for the month. So the statement has come in. What it's done is it's actually extracted the invoice number and the total amount from the page. It's done then a look into Premiere and then validated that if the invoices has been received or not. So as you can see here, 12 of the 13 invoices have been received. This one is actually missing. So it notifies the accounts payable team that, okay, there's an invoice missing. What do we need to do? Do we need to follow this up? Do we need to action that at any perspective? Okay, so that is about it. That concludes the demonstration. We thought we might keep it short and sweet. Obviously, the solution is very flexible, and it's just the tip of the iceberg of what we're showing you now on the quick demo. But the solution also does subcontract matching and etc. That's all built into the product, and hopefully this will be a great, I guess, introduction to our solution for Jonas Premier. Thank you.